Hey everybody, welcome back to Papa's Custom Cars. This one's going to be a little bit different. Did a whole video of redoing the seats and making the brackets and all that kind of stuff, and there were issues with the microphones, be it the cords, cables, or something of that nature, and so the sound didn't go on to it. So what you're going to end up with here is kind of a weird one. It's going to be like for anybody who's watched a 60s or 70s Godzilla movie, the voice talking isn't going to match the video, so it's going to be narrated from me as we go. I don't want to not put out this material because it is really important to know how to do this. So let's get to it. So a lot of what we talk about during this video is building brackets to be able to mount different seats in your vehicle. So it doesn't matter what car you're doing it with and what seat you're doing it with, as long as you've got the right dimensions. An example of this one is the seats in this are 24 inches wide, and the seats that I have in there now are 24 inches wide. The difference between the two of them is the bolt pattern on the Pinto is about 13 inches to the seats. I believe it was 15 or so. It'll be in the video, but it's about a 15-inch video, or I'm sorry, a 15-inch seat track. So what we had to do is we had to modify and build a bracket that fit the big seats, the Dodge seats, and then also fit the Pinto seat. So what we were able to do is we created this cardboard aided design, and you'll see as we go through, to actually make our template so that we could make our hunk of steel. And this will kind of walk you through everything we did. I saved you guys the grief of cutting all this stuff and drilling the holes and all that kind of thing. I believe I cut most of it out, but we'll just get to the core and the basics of it. Reason I'm releasing this video is because A, the seats are already in there and I found out the video wasn't working, but B, because I had some requests asking how I designed and how we did this so that they could put any type of seat in their Pinto. But this works for everything. It's going to work for the Nova because the Nova and getting the factory seats back in it, you get something nice and cushy. So this will work with any car. And basically the way that I started out was I was taking the piece of metal when I did this particular seat. I took the piece of metal and measured it, and I was going back and forth with a piece of metal, and I built it out of the metal, and then I cut the video so the guys didn't have to see the struggles I went through. It probably took me 4 hours of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then at the end of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. So let's get into it, and I'll show you and narrate you through what we did to make this all work.
Okay, so the first thing I had to do was measure out the seats. I had a bigger piece that wouldn't quite reach, and I found a piece of stainless steel that was 30 inches long and was it 3 inches wide, and figured out that I could go across the back of the seat instead of in the front, or instead of sideways, and I could lift the seat on both ends, and that would make it better in the overall. So I measured out the main seat to get my size of cardboard that I needed, and then took that measurement and went and cut out my piece of cardboard. Came back with again, just to make sure my measurements were right, to make sure that I got everything correct, because you don't want to, like they say, measure a few times and then have the right size. So then I've got my piece of cardboard, and I needed to put the marks on there so that I knew exactly where to put my holes in the cardboard for the template. So I just took the cardboard, set it down, and boom, I've got an indent where the bolt hole is. So it makes it really, really simple. And you just take this over to the bench and you drill the hole out. So that's what I did next, was I took it over to the workbench and drilled a hole in it, because you want to create it just like you're going to make it out of metal. So then I screwed it on there, put it over to the other side again, and then just repeated the same process. Hit it with a hammer, got my hole where I needed to drill it, just like last time. And now I've got my pattern that was, I believe it was 15 inches wide at that point. So now I've got my basic layout for the strip of stainless steel that I'm using. So now I need to get it from the other seat so that I've got the holes transferred from the other seat. Now with that seat, I basically used the very first hole because those lined up, and then I just needed to get the one in the center, which was about 3 inches smaller than the other one. To make it work, I had to take the bolt in through the back, and so it poked out because it was set farther down. So now I've got all 3 holes lined up. So now it's time to cut out my circles. I needed to split this thing because it was 30 inches, so I needed 2 15 inches, so I had to split it in half and then split those two down the center. So I needed to make all my marks, or transfer all my marks from the cardboard over to, my cardboard aided design over to the paper. So the first thing I did was split it in half, and that gave me a 15-inch strip that's 3 inches wide. So with that, I was able to start putting my or building my template for the seat. And like I said, this can work on any seat, not just the Pinto seat, but any seat that you're putting in. Like say you pick one up at the junkyard, this is all you really have to do to make it work, depending upon the height and the width and all that kind of stuff. So here I just took the holes from the template and put them onto the strips. Now in this particular case, I put all the holes for the 2 strips that I have for each seat on first and drilled them out first, because it would be easier to drill them like this than it would be when I split that piece of stainless in half. So I'd end up with a 3-inch wide, and then I have all the holes drilled, and then I split it in half, and I have an 1.5-inch wide strip that goes to the front of the seat and the back of the seat. So here I'm punching my marks, and then I'll be taking the drill and drilling a hole here, or drilling the holes in a second. So break out the drill. I drill it just a pinch bigger than the actual bolts. Here I had to go and I ended up just drilling all the way through both of them, so that way all the holes are drilled at the same time. Wipe it down, get all the splinters off so I don't have any metal splinters, and now I'm ready to split it in half. So I'm just going to take my measurements again, my widths, make sure I've got the right widths and all the holes are lined up, and then now I'm just going to mark it so that I can split them down the middle. Or actually here I'm slotting the grooves so that if I need a little bit of movement, I can get it. So I broke up my die grinder and made little slots in it. And one of the mistakes I made here was I didn't do both of or all of the holes on everything. I just did one set because that's all I was putting together. Make sure you guys are wearing gloves when you're messing with this metal. I ended up with metal splinters for weeks and had a really hard time with that. And especially when you're using a die grinder, because those little pieces are flying everywhere, so you want to get them off as quickly as possible, or at least not on your fingers. Let me rephrase that. And if you look down on the floor by my shoes, you see the metal splinters already showing up there on the black mat. But grooving them made it so that I had a little bit of space, and I didn't have to worry so much about it being perfect. That little bit of slot will allow me to move it back and forth. And again, I'm doing all this before I split these things down the middle, and that just saves me the time, and it's easier to clamp them down and everything than it would be if they were half their size. So once I've got these slotted, it takes just a little bit of time. Again, that allows me to, like I said, it allows me to move the mounts around a little bit. And you do need that little bit, because depending upon how your seat lays out, you want to be able to move it forward, backward just a pinch. So I'm back to the car. I went out and I split them so that you guys didn't have to deal with watching that, because it's a long, tedious process. But I've basically got them split, so now I've got to go grab some bolts so that I can put them together. Actually, I was grabbing the spacers. I've got a 1-inch spacer in the front and a 1/2-inch spacer in the back. What I discovered at first was the 1-inch spacer that I had, I didn't have the bolts long enough for it, so I had to go to the hardware store. And I did pick up I ordered the spacers online, and they came through from Amazon, so it only took a couple days for that. But realizing you don't have the bolts definitely made it harder. So I was wandering around for a little bit trying to find the bolts. And then you see we line up the new brackets, put them on the seat first. There was a little bit of extra material and stuff from the seat itself, so I had to remove that. And these are the seats bolted right in place. I put a bolt facing the other direction. That way I could put the old Pinto mounts on the current seats. So by doing that, I was able to use the Pinto mounts so that everything from the Pinto fit right onto that seat, and it basically allows me to bolt it into place. This was a lot easier process than it was the first time, because the first time, yeah, it was a nightmare going back and forth. The cardboard made it really easy to design, the base mount. With this, if I'd have had longer pieces, I could have put bends in them and spaced them myself, but I didn't have enough metal. I was using what I had on hand. I didn't want to go buy any more. And the nice thing about this is I found it in stainless steel, so I never have to worry about this stuff rusting. So again, we put a 1/2 inch spacer in the back, a 1 inch spacer in the front, and that's because if you look over at the Pinto seat on the right hand side, you'll see that it curves. And because of that curve, this seat is actually thicker on the transmission hump. So you want to definitely have that space available, and that's where those little spacers come in, as they move it up enough to where it's still tight, but not so much so that you can't move the seat. Here I'm putting on all the brackets just like you normally would. What's nice about it is this side of the bracket bolts right on. All I had to do is slot the mounts just a little bit, and they bolted right in. I was able to slide them back and forth. They were only off about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch from the existing mounts that were there, so it made it really easy. So here's where I discovered I didn't have long enough bolts for everything, so I kind of just tossed it together so that I had something in place while I went to get my bolts. So here we're putting it in place because that side, that little 1/2 inch is fine. And now we're putting the other mount in place. Basically, I'm just bolting the mounts to the brackets, and that way when I did get everything, all the bolts and all the spacers, all I had to do is just basically bolt it together.
Hey man, how the hell you doing? I've been just fine, living life with the new sand in my mind.
So here the only thing I'm missing is that 1 inch spacer, so I've got to go get the 1 inch spacer. So I had to slot them a little bit more. What I found out was I didn't slot 2 of them enough. The other 2 I slotted just fine. So I was able to use the other 2 that I had. They were perfectly spaced. Now you see how the seat tracks. I had to go get bolts and come back, just like I was saying earlier. I had to go get those 1 1/4 or 1 1/2 inch bolts, and that way I could mount everything with those spacers in place. So here I'm mounting all the spacers in place. Now the one thing you'll notice is the handle to move the seat is almost touching the seat, so it makes it really hard. So I did have to bend that straight, which I did on the other side also. So it's wasn't that bad. So we bend it out straight so that you can reach the handle and everything's all hunky-dory. So now all the mounts are in, everything's put in place. They work fine. Went in, cleaned out the carpet because it was horribly filthy. And one of the nice things about it was once I got all these brackets put on the right way, the other side, the driver's side, I had to fight. But on this side, the minute I put it in the first hole and lined up the second one, boom, it was in. And all the bolts went in with no trouble whatsoever. And what's nice about them is both these mechanisms work. Those seats move back and forth, so you definitely have a nice thing anybody can sit in it. Also, you'll notice how well these seats match the interior and match the decor of that year car. What's nice about these seats is because of the color, my wife can pick any color, brown, tan, all the way to a dark brown or a light tan. And boom, they're done. So I got the seats in, they're all in place. Jump in, make sure everything works, and they do. Everything's all hunky-dory. So with that, make sure you like, share, subscribe.